we are at the Wellington County Archives and Museum, and we're going to go inside and check out the gallery show for the Elora Tarot project, which has one of my paintings in it, which is the star card.
We're here at the Wellington County Museum and Archives. My name is Susan Dunlop. I'm the curator here. The show that is on right now, the Elora Tarot Card Project, has been a unique project, probably 2 years in the preparation, perhaps over 2 years, by the organizer Shelley Carter of Elora. And she brought together 65 artists from the community to interpret the tarot deck, which is 78 cards. And as you may or may not know, tarot is all about the past, the present, and the future. And here at this building that we are in, that is hosting it, is a National Historic Site as the oldest remaining rural poorhouse in Canada. And we feel quite passionately here that this is a story that also needs to be told. It's also about the past, the present, and the future. So I do hope that you will come and visit this extraordinary exhibit at the Elora Tarot Project, as well as come and see the story of the poorhouse and learn about the transitions here as well.
I'm Shelley Carter. I'm the coordinator of the Elora Tarot Project, which is showing here at the Wellington County Museum between September 13th and November 3rd, 2013. There are 78 pieces in the gallery, each created by an individual artist in their own style and medium, using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck as our base deck. So Damon Rowanchild has done the star and a gorgeous rendition of it. Damon's a tattoo artist by day, and the style of his piece reflects that, I think, in the tiny work. And Damon said he spent 300 hours on this piece. So the star is one of the luminary cards of the tarot deck, and is a brilliantly positive card. Suggests that someone's path is divinely guided. So if that comes up in a reading, it bodes very well for the whatever endeavors the person's involved in. So if you'd like to find out more about the Elora Tarot Project and the deck, please go to www.eloratarot.com, and there's pictures of the other images and ways to order the deck and where we'll be next. Thanks.
Here I am at the Elora Tarot Project gallery show, and right now we're in the gallery room, and I'm standing in front of my painting, which is the star card. And as you can see, it's quite a different interpretation than you may be familiar with, those of you that have a familiarity with tarot cards. I'd like to just go into a little bit of background on how I came about being asked to do this card. It's really quite interesting. 30 years ago, when my wife Raven and I first got together, we had a certain focus on the star card because of certain synchronicities in our relationship and our meetings and our beliefs and values and our spirituality. In fact, so significant that I did a painting of my wife holding the star card. A lot of events in our life at that time, synchronicities, a lot of soul searching, a a lot of methods that we were using for going deeper within ourselves on theogenic voyages, shamanic voyages you might call them, to reach deep inside of ourselves to that deeper self, some might call the soul, and just bringing those things forth. 30 years later, I'm sitting in my tattoo studio, and a lovely lady, Shelley, who's very much into tarot cards, and she had decided to do a project where she got a group of artists, I think 65 tarot card paintings, all different artists, and she had mentioned to me that she had one card left open for an artist to choose, and that left me with the option of whether I would want to do this card. Now, the interesting synchronicity was it just happened to be the star card. I don't know. I just felt like this was something I needed to do for myself as well as for the show. I have a lot of symbols in here. There's 7 stars, 1 large star, the 8th. Many see that as sort of coinciding with the chakras, and tuning those chakras in, clearing oneself, emptying oneself, and tuning in with everything that makes us who we are, and accepting those things, good and bad. That's all part of the process. What I found that I really liked about this card is it really represents what my clients coming to me with their tattoo project are going through, and that is that they're coming to deal with whatever their life has given them, and to process that and to not judge it, and to move to a higher place of wisdom within themselves, and to tap into that deeper wisdom that they have inside as well, and not to see themselves as broken but as always whole. And what I found, what really works well with this symbolism, is you have your pool of wisdom within yourself, symbolized by the pool that's right here in front of us. I have the mushrooms, which represent a deep inner wisdom, and that accessibility to that inner wisdom that's related to the planet, the organic growth. Here we have the 2 urns, one of them sitting up, one is poured into the pool. Around the urn that's pouring into the pool, on the sides here, we have the green vine growing both sides up her arm, including morning glory plant that's part of the vine, which also symbolizes the inner wisdom and tapping into that. Basically, what the earth provides us to connect to her deeper wisdom. Now, if you look at that plant as it grows up her arm, it slowly transforms and changes into her tattoo design. Now, for me, that is to symbolize that someone coming to get a tattoo, at least with my approach, the tattoo represents their deeper inner wisdom and their connection to it. And in a sense, it's like putting your soul on the outside of your body, or a soul print. So that transformation of the wisdom from the earth and beyond, coming up and transforming into the tattoos that are not just on her, but a part of her, integrated. That's what people coming to me are doing. They are transforming themselves and moving into a deeper and more whole relationship with themselves. The tattoo not being just a picture on the body, but actually the process being the tattoo, and that process integrating them on a soul level to something deeper within themselves.
Well, what impresses me is about them coming is that people are coming here, number one, they're following their intuition. They're not going by some cardboard cutout diagnostic, what they've been told by a doctor or by, a therapist. They're following, well, number one, they're intuitively tuning into themselves on a certain level. I'll call it heart level, for lack of just something simple. They are, number one, number two, I should say, they are acknowledging their, the depth of themselves, and that there is something shifting. Number three, the fact that what's shifting is maybe they're not intellectually going there, but they're following as if that there is health in what a lot of people would consider frailty or trauma or suffering. That there is something, there's a pregnancy or a creative energy within that depth of darkness, in darkness depending on the situation. But because most of the people who have, or many people who have come to me, they have at some point had this collapse of some sort, whether it's an illness, whether it's sexual abuse, whatever, and they are following some kind of intuitive sense that takes them to my door, in this case, and they're working with, yes, I'm a facilitator, but really they're working with themselves. They are dishing out mass helpings of love to themselves, which people don't commonly do. Like, they are investing this time, energy, money, and going inwards, getting creative, which most people think they're not creative, and yet they're doing this. They're digging in deep, and they are moving through things. That blows me away. Like, I find that the most uplifting and encouraging thing in this day and age, with a lot of the daunting things about the environment and so on. This is one of the most encouraging things that gives me hope with humanity, is to see this process happening. What comes through my doors, because this is what I do. I can only comment on that. It's phenomenal. Well, I think this series is something to invite people to step into a deeper relationship with themselves, acknowledge some things that they might have already acknowledged, but they may not have been aware of, because it's a very radical approach to healing, and maybe even a radical definition of healing, compared to what a lot of people might think when the word is used. But they will definitely come face to face with a lot of things that they'll probably recognize within themselves, that they'll either don't know or try to refuse. But it's not necessarily going to be a comfortable voyage, although it'll be very enlightening. But most of all, it's not going to be something that they can expect, but they will recognize within themselves.